Hi, all chess goodies, and welcome to day 25 of my journey to top 100 chess players in the world. Yesterday I played 4 games, which is quite a lot. I lost first 2, but then I won the next games, and it was pretty nice because I had much better time management, and currently also have the winning streak of 2, as you can see. My best winning streak over the last 90 days is only 3. So if I can get a nice pairing, nice opponents, and keep up the good chess, I might be able to break it, but let's find out. I'll search for pairing for an opponent, and I actually have higher rating, 2216, and yesterday I ended up with 2208 or 2208, and it is because at this level you sometimes gain, let's say, 3 rating points, and that is because here are quite a lot of cheaters, or well, they simply are there, and if chess.com detects that, then they'll send you few rating points to potentially compensate for the loss, because when you are playing a cheater, you basically should not have a chance to win. I mean, most of the cheaters, they don't cheat like whole game. They just like look at a move here and there, you know, but they can actually control the game even when they are looking up just few moves, and it's also usually the way that they're actually quite strong players. It's not that they would be complete beginners to chess, and that they would just bring up the engine. But okay, well, let's get to this game. We actually got a nice opening. I quite enjoyed this line. It is a pawn sacrifice line. As you can see, I'm down a pawn. This pawn actually. But it is a pretty similar idea to the martial attack in the Ruy Lopez. And I think that this is actually even an improved version because of these weaknesses over here. And okay, there's this approach. So my opponent is going after the D pawn. And I know that I said that I want to get better with the clock, and I actually did quite nicely yesterday. But in this position, I feel like I can get a winning and nice position already if I choose the right moves here. You definitely would like to play bishop d6, but then rook takes d5, and this is not possible because queen guards that, and the pawn is actually currently under attack. Maybe that move is a thing I'm thinking of. But yeah, here is definitely worth spending some time. Okay, do I want to play pawn to f5? No, that would be a bit too much. But it feels like pawn to d4 would be quite good. Yeah, I like that. It opens up the b7 pawn, but just look at the activity I got. And these weaknesses. It doesn't mean that white will not develop eventually, but it will take time. And the rook and the queen might actually become nice targets. If the queen takes, then the d3 is weak as well. I cannot take there because then I would lose the bishop. But I can play bishop f6, which I'm not so sure if I want to play that. Because bishop would be better on this diagonal for sure. At the same time, I will go for it. because I should win that pawn back. Not sure if capturing with the bishop or with the queen, which option is better. Okay, rook d5. I mean, it is an option, but it does not feel too safe, honestly. I also have to make something out of it. It's not like that I just say that it's not great and that's it. That's how you win. So I got quite a lot of tempting options here. Queen c7 probably not. I like queen b6. Yeah, I like that because it attacks the d4 pawn once again and it puts pressure on the b2 pawn. So this bishop is sort of stuck. And notice that I'm down 2 pawns, but the pawns are in the center on the d file. They are doubled, isolated, so quite easy targets for me. And I can actually win one back right away, even though there might be some tricks. But okay, so what do I want to do here? Oh, do I want to play queen c6? I want to attack the rook, you know? I do. But I think like I will just bring this rook to the e file. So this check could be quite annoying, and the bishop cannot be developed that easily because of that pawn. Obviously not the g5, it was just highlighting the whole diagonal basically, not the specific square. And the rook will belong to c8 for sure. Okay. But I think I'll just take the pawn on d4 with the queen now. There shouldn't be much to it. I can give that check first. I think that's a question whether I want to do it or not. That's basically the only question. If I do it, king g2, let's say, and then I take bishop e3 is a thing I'm worried about. Yeah, that doesn't look too good, so let's just take on d4. I might drop b7 pawn, but as I said, I don't think that's too bad. So bishop develops to e3 instead anyway, to block that and, you know, just solidify. But at this point, I'll take the pawn on d3 as well. True is that my opponent might consolidate, but I have the advantage of the bishop in an open position. So I still quite like my chances. Okay, this is the only square, so there's nothing to think about. This is the only square available for the queen. But okay, so at this point it feels like an equal game. Okay, I lost the pawn again. I can take it back, actually. That pawn will be defended then. I'm not sure if I want to do it though. But okay, I do. I do, but it does not... Oh, it does. Does it? Yes, it does. I'll take. And now bishop to e4. And I have the f7 pawn protected by the queen. So that's okay. And if rook to d4, yeah, that's resignable. I would just win a full rook here. So that was a nice tactic, and that's just a thing that you can easily occur in there. And apparently, queen to f4 is just fine for white. And it makes sense. It pins the bishop to the queen, so we actually both missed that. It's like nothing happening. the game continues, you can see the Valbra is basically in the middle. So it would be just game would go on. I don't know what would I do now. I mean, to grab the pawn on a2 actually quite makes sense, maintaining the defense while still attacking the rook. The rook would move back, or maybe to c7. I'm just playing engine moves, but here I will just stop, because I think it's pointless, but it's interesting that we both missed this simple move. Otherwise, I'm just winning by a lot. Just winning the rook. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad that opponent missed that. Why not to take an easy win like this? But yeah, okay, that's the game. So actually, third game that I won in a row, if I count the 2 games yesterday. We see this, it's okay, I'll grab. But to be honest, I don't really know how is this gambit played. I know that it's pretty sharp, yeah, bishop to c4, and then I want to take on b2. I actually even made a video about this, but yeah, I remember it. That's the thing. I usually play it in a way that I'll just leave the pawn there. That's how I play it. So I'll just develop the knight to c6. Because already here I'm up a pawn, so you know, it's still good. Now I can play d6. That would block this bishop. I might want to develop, but at some point the bishop on e7 would just be solid. So okay, let's go for that. Okay, knight f3, solid development, okay. Bishop e7 is just a move that would be played anyway. And now I'm interested in bishop to g4, even though then this, no, it doesn't work. And yeah, h3 to stop bishop to g4, that would be quite unpleasant, that pin, because of knight e5, which might come anyway, honestly. So okay, I'll finish the development on the king side and prepare the castle. Prepare the castle. Can I do that? I mean, I definitely can. But I'm thinking of immediate knight e5. But no, okay, let me just castle first. But now the thing is, bishop f4 can be played, and that sort of stops knight e4. Because if I could get this transformation into the endgame, then I'm just up a queen pawn, and there is nothing to talk about. Here, still the small center advantage. And yeah, basically there is a compensation. Okay, let's go for that knight e5 now. Okay, so we get this transformation, so actual symmetrical pawn structure on the king side. Yeah, I was expecting the opponent to avoid the queen trade. For sure, I was. Okay, c6. And I'll put my queen on c7, where I will have to watch out for knight jumping in anyway because of that pin, potentially. So yeah, gotta be careful. Okay, pawn to f4, that is aggressive, for sure. So can I take? That's my first question. I might be able to, but then the f-file would come under fire. Do I want to do that? I'm not so sure. The position starts to complicate a bit. Okay, let me just develop this bishop to e6. Not sure if it's the best move though. Obviously, it will ruin my pawn structure, which I can actually reclaim. But was thinking of a line like this f takes e5. I don't have to take the pawn back, actually. But if I would, just let's say that I would. Bishop comes to one of these two diagonals. And what happens then? Okay, it probably cannot come to f4 then, because then there would be that fork. Hopefully you can still follow what am I thinking. Okay, bishop goes back. Okay, definitely a possibility since it was played, you know. But right now, I think that I'll just counter that rook. Okay, f5 was played. That is a thing that was just coming. Okay, I gotta drop the bishop back to c8. It is right passive there. But hopefully I can activate it later. I need to create pressure against e4. That would be pretty nice. I might want to trade the rooks. If I trade all pairs of rooks, then the attack might be much slower and harder to create. Because the rook on f1, it doesn't seem that way, but it is actually quite an important attacking piece. So honestly, it feels like I really wouldn't mind all the trades to happen. You know, like I'll play rook g8 then. The pawn on a7 is sort of hanging. It depends whether it can be captured or not. There probably are ways to take that and then defend with queen a4 after b6. I also would have to decide how would I recapture with the queen or with the bishop, because those are two completely different moves. Obviously, as all the moves are different, but these two moves could actually change the position quite a lot. If I take with the queen, then there are no more knight tricks, even though knight b5, yes, I cannot take, but I can just go back somewhere, or to a5, for example, and the knight has to go back anyway since it's attacked after the queen moves. So yeah, so if I would take, I would claim the d file, but as I was saying, there's the pawn on a7, which I'm not really sure about. There's a shaky pawn. Also, for him to decide to actually capture is not easy. You really have to see through whether you can do it or not. And okay, there's the rook f1 move, which declines the rook trade. I think it's actually a correct decision. I think it actually is the way to go. Because you really want to have that attack. Okay, I'll play b6 first and then pawn to c5. I want to play these two moves, but I don't know in which order. Okay, let me play b6 first. And then pawn to c5, because I want to put the bishop on b7, where it would be pretty nice then. But okay, b4 comes. That is a move that counters that idea a bit, but okay, I can still play it, I think. Like, what happens if I go for that? Okay, maybe knight b5. And then, like, maybe queen c6, and then this pawn would be under attack as well. If capture, it's not so easy to see through. I got a feeling that it works. I know that is not the best idea to rely just on your feelings, but I think that the counter-attack against that pawn would be crucial. And that actually is just b5. I don't actually think that that's a good move. Now I'll just put my bishop on this nice and active diagonal. g4, g5 will come. It depends how strong that idea is. I need to add another attacker against that e4 pawn on, or just create threats there. But yeah, g4, g5, yeah, there it is. It might be unpleasant, yeah. And the bishops are controlling the d file, so there are no infiltrations, actually. So it's not so easy as well. So, honestly, right now, it might be the time to drop the knight back. And then play f6. Thank you. We'll see if I will actually have luck. In the last game, I actually sort of had, because if you've seen that, my opponent resigned in a position where there was one move to continue the game, but it was not the hardest one to find. I actually missed it as well, but if you look at it for longer, you can find that move, definitely. And then we would just continue the game in an equal, interesting, dynamic position. There's my current rank in the rapid ladder in the world, or at least like the rank that I had before today. So since I won, and I also got 8 points for playing a cheater, I should be a bit higher, but it is somewhat there. But okay, g5 comes with the threat of f6. So to play f6 myself might make sense, but there's bishop f4 then, and then suddenly the bishop would be really strong there and annoying piece. But I have knight d6, so maybe it is not as bad. So let's go for that. Yeah, I gotta play f6. Otherwise, if I allow f6, it just seems bad. If g6, I'll just play h6, and yes, the king might become weak to some queen attacks potential, and also to the endgame, the king would be weak. But currently in that position, it would be just fine, I think. Okay, h4, another advancement. Oh, wow. Is that possible? Can I play rook d4? I mean, I can, but it will be just one mover. And I don't get much from that. It would be a cool move to play. It would be. But I'll play c4 instead. It might lose that pawn, but it opens up this bishop, which feels to be important. I also have that knight d6, but I wanna do something with this bishop first to activate it somewhere, and then put the knight on d6, where it would be pretty nicely placed, putting pressure to e4. Yes, it would be blocking the rook, not so ideal. Bishop goes back. Okay, in this case, it feels a bit of a like no-brainer to just play bishop c5, check. But maybe I can start with rook d4. Yes, I can. I'll go for that. We might repeat moves. Okay, I'm dropping a bit lower on the clock. I think it's still better than it used to be. than, for example, 2 days ago or just before. Yeah, it is also due to the fact that they don't play nearly as much. Like, not all the best players just play that. And it is also not a FIDE rating, which is basically the only rating that matters. But you cannot grind that on the internet, you know. Maybe you can. There is some like online platform, but I'm not sure about that. But even so, it wouldn't count on the actual like official FIDE rating. So yeah, in this position, I managed to activate my pieces quite nicely. I trapped the rook a bit. So not sure if that's great. I might lose it in some lines, but I have all my pieces nicely placed, except for the queen. And that is the reason why this is not already maybe even winning, because of how bad the queen is. Although, I mean, it's not bad, but it doesn't really attack anything. And there's no good way to improve it. So that's so far the deciding factor, almost. Am I going for this? Like rook d3? Is that good? I mean, I don't know. Yes, the pieces are strong, but they feel vulnerable as well. The king there, I mean, yeah, still, it feels like it's about the queen. I would like to find a way for her to join the attack. But okay, it's coming down to almost a blood game. Right now it's a blitz game, you know? But in blitz game, you are starting from the starting position. You're starting a new game. We already played something. But okay, we get this straight, which is interesting. Okay, bishop h6 is important thing. Yeah, there it is. It was important for sure. But I'm still controlling this diagonal. And I'm going to attack the knight, and then the e4 pawn might fall. And okay, knight jumps to d5. That is strong. Definitely. Attacking the queen, attacking that. Okay, I have to capture. There's no other way. Okay, this is... I mean, after pawn to e4, I don't know. I don't know what this position is. We got a minute each. I mean, this is gonna be crazy. Like, really crazy. Oh wow, can I do that? I think so. I can. I actually can. My opponent doesn't have to take it, which is a thing, but there should be checkmate. It is hard to see, but okay, my opponent doesn't accept it. But can I just take, because then check, quick calculation, yes, it would lead to checkmate, so I can take on f4. Can I take there now? Can give a check. This is so hard. Okay, I think I can repeat once. I can repeat once to gain a bit more time against my opponent. And then I can take there. What? What is this? Okay, I'll come back like this. This absolute craziness. Okay, I gotta play. I gotta make a move. Queen can check there. Okay, I'll take. Rook takes. I can slide back and the knight hangs. Okay, I can attack the queen. Oh wow. It is actually pinned. But I spent more time. And that is the crucial thing here. I can give a check. And wow. This check, but bishop e6. And that's the game. I got no time left. Okay, this just drops every piece possible. Okay, so lost this one, yeah, but it was crazy. Could go either way for sure. I just wanna take a look at it. I'm sure that I was winning there at some point. I had to be. But impossible to find with so little time. But it basically started in this position. Where it was already crazy enough. That thing was interesting. Then king went back. Knight takes d6 was a nice find. Okay, I could repeat. And it actually... Okay. Apparently that was not good. I should just take on d6. And it would be winning. This change was wrong indeed. I thought that it would be even beneficial. But now let's take a look at the same idea. It was bishop to f4, and here I can play bishop h3, king g2, and then knight to e3, which would fork this, and I mean, like, you have to see all of this with 30 seconds on the clock. I saw that idea, but bishop f4 was a thing that put me off guard. Actually, quick analysis, 8 mistakes and 8 blunders. That's insane. But also, I'm not so surprised by that. It also takes into account the last few moves that were pretty much, all of them were wrong, that I just played quickly and lose all my material. So that's also a thing that is there. Again, black pieces, and again, the one e4, knight f3. And again, Italian. What did we have in the last game? Yeah, we had the, how is it called? Yeah, the Danish Gambit. But here we have the Scotch Gambit, which I'm actually quite familiar with. I also played as white. Sometimes this is the absolute main line. Okay. Oh, what? Have I pre-moved a wrong thing? I don't think so, but you're supposed to take there with the bishop, not with the knight. So at this point, I already don't know how this is. Is this a threat? Like bishop takes c4, would that be bad? I don't think so. I'll just develop the bishop nicely to this diagonal. And sure, now the capture might happen. Okay, it doesn't. It doesn't. There are always queen h4 things that can be pretty dangerous sometimes. I think I'll play that. Yes, I will. There's still that bishop captures. Yeah, it comes. Here it is. Maybe bishop e3. Now, both of these 3 pawns are sort of weak and strong at the same time. but they will probably fall sooner or later. I would at this point see that both of them will fall. But yeah, we'll find out. Rook d8, sensible move to make. Bishop g4. Actually, if I want to castle, I need to do something about this bishop. So bishop g4 and rook d8 are the moves that come to mind. Rook d8, actually, I think the even more logical one to go for rook d8 first. This pawn is currently under attack from the knight, but is defended. Okay, queen d2 expected very much. This knight is there actually, otherwise I could see some nice crazy checkmating ideas, but okay, they don't work, so I'm not gonna bother myself with them so much. Does bishop f4 even do anything amazing? No, it doesn't. I'll just castle. And maybe even sacrifice that. Maybe even sacrifice the e-pawn. I don't know, it feels like a good idea to do. It's pretty tough to decide. Okay. I'm going to sacrifice that. The e-pawn. But the issue is, if f4 will be played at any point, then I'm not going to have a counterplay, basically. So I need to act quickly. Bishop is under attack, but I can take advantage of this spin and play bishop g4, which looks like a nice move. Honestly, why not to play it? You know? And okay, queen c4, there it is. I'll just drop the bishop back. Yes, that's exactly what I will do. And then if queen takes c6, I would be down 2 pawns, but there might be some tactics. Not sure if they work immediately though. But if I would be white, I might consider it, but I don't think I would actually go for it indeed. But bishop to g4. Wow, completely missed that. I saw it before it was played, but it was already too late to do something with it. But there might be queen to h5 going for this. How does that look? I think I gotta do it, right? I wanted to do something against the knight, also rook d4 would be a thing you wanna play, but no. Let's go for that thing. Okay, the rook is captured. And I could maybe go for that instead. But what happens if bishop e2 is played? Queen goes somewhere, let's say it takes there. I might be just down quite a lot of material then. But okay, let's go for it. But I might just sacrifice the exchange, and if, let's say, queen takes c6, I can just take the bishop. And I would have the bishop pair. With the d1 under control, the rook would be still attacked. So probably rook e1. The knight is strong and doing a nice job in the defense. But yeah, so right now I can take. But then let's say rook takes, and now I'm down 2 pawns. I'm already down 2 pawns, you know? Let's not forget about that. So yeah, I gotta do it. I feel like I got better chances here. Yep, rook e1, here it comes. But now I might want to do something like this, you know? That'd be great. The god, this knight is really annoying there. Without that, the position would be already winning. Can I play queen g4, h3? If I go back, then the bishop falls. I have to keep defending the bishop. That's an issue. Quite a significant issue. So yeah, actually I need to move it back, which I don't like. Maybe to e6 to get it to d5, c4 will come though. I wanna have that square under control because, yeah, if rook d1, then it suddenly is even worse quite quickly. Knight g3. Okay, my queen is under attack. I don't want to go there. But at the same time, the knight on e4 just seemed nicer. So I'm happy opponent went for it. Maybe h3 now. But in that case, queen f4 could be interesting. Going for that, and also the knight would be weak because there's still that pretty strong bishop that I have for the rook. And also for 2 pawns actually. It is quite crazy that I'm down such a lot of material, but yet still feels like I'm in the game. Objectively should be losing, but there are things to play and compensation. Let's find out. Like rook d2 would be awesome, but I have back rank issues. So maybe h5 or something like that, h6 first. It will be annoying and take time. But if I want to activate the rook, I gotta play that, you know. But okay, now as I was saying, queen f4 could be interesting, or can I just stay there? Wait a second. Queen goes there. That thing is also possible, but in that case, king just goes back. King goes back, I take, and then the bishop is hanging. So, okay, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But yeah, I'll go to f4 anyway. Okay, knight goes back to e4. That was expected. But right now, can I play that? I can, but as I was saying, I don't want to give up that thing. Maybe bishop f5. I'm running low time again, you know. Yes, I actually play OTB as well. I will actually participate in one tournament pretty soon, so I'll announce it again, and I'll have to break the TV because at that point I will really not be able to make videos. It will be for a week. So hopefully you can wait, you know. But it's also that as I was saying, it is in the middle of the March. And after that, I expect to get better at chess, basically. I expect my rating to grow a bit. As well as my play will improve there, most likely, at least I expect it. At least that's also what happened when I played my last tournament. Okay, let's get back to this position. My opponent got the rook on d1. But okay, this was unexpected. Because now I'm gonna take and then take on f2. That was basically my plan all along. Okay, queen takes. It's maybe not that bad. Yeah, it's maybe not that bad. Like if I take... Okay, so it's probably just fine. I'll take that with the queen and maybe go for some pawns there in return at least. So I actually want 2 pawns. Not so bad. Now I just have to win the exchange back, which isn't impossible. You know, you get a bishop, you can get some nice double attacks or something. These pawns also on the attack now. Okay, what happens if I just take? Queen takes and it's check. Okay, I get it. But then what? I'm gonna take and then king h8. And true, there will be checkmating ideas created. Right now it is 1800. But I think I play better than that. Depends how much, but I feel like I do. But yeah, my FIDE rating is 1800. Okay, rook f3. Rook g8 is actually the only move, right? Only move. But what then? Okay, I gotta play that. Oh wow. Oh wow, I see it. My opponent wrote me GG in the chat even. And yeah, I see it right now. Queen takes g8. There it is. So okay, I'll let it be. Okay, so 1 win. And I didn't get that 4 games in a row. And then 2 losses right now. So let's maybe find out if I can get it at least to the point that where it was yesterday, like 2 losses and 2 wins. Okay, we got a pretty strong opponent, and we got the white pieces for the first time, and the Scandinavian defense. And I actually played 1 Scandinavian defense here, and I think I lost. But it is always against Scandinavian that as white you got so much freedom and it feels like you are just positionally winning. You have everything you could ever ask for, basically, in most of the positions. Bishop f4, is that fine? Maybe, okay, that there is knight d5, then I go back. Only then. Bishop c5. Okay, in that case, I'll play bishop d3. I study with a coach. I have trainings, and then, you know, I try to study alone as well with books and do something else like puzzles and maybe watching some videos, but it's pretty tough to improve. Okay, bishop to b4. So now the knight is actually on the attack, not really the knight, but the pawn. So do I want to do anything about it? I don't think so. Yeah, I'll just take the bishop first. Okay, queen takes. That's the thing. I just thought it takes f5. But no, there is still the queen. But even like that, it was not a terrible decision. Now I'll drop the bishop back to d2 or e3. Let's put it on e3. Why not? Okay, so we see the castle. And now, okay, a3, why not, honestly? Let's see what will my opponent do with the bishop. I would guess bishop d6 just looks the most natural. Diagonal for the bishop, and you don't want to take the knight, most likely. Even though it is an option, but yeah, bishop d6 was played. What do I do now? Well, I got options, as always, but probably h3. Yeah, pawn to h3. I was saying it, I'm 1800 feet as well. But let's see, I'll play that tournament. So yeah, maybe I can climb higher. But it is always quite different than these ratings on chess.com, and you know, also depends on how often you play. If you just don't play as much, you just have your rating and that's it. h6. How about this queen there? It feels a bit shaky there. How about knight h4? Where can the queen even go? h7, if that would be the only square, I would be happy. h5 possible, so I would get a queen trade, but other than that, not too many squares. But I would see just rook e1. Yeah, I know about that. Actually, next month there will be that bonus, so it is quite nice. I like that change, honestly. Just why not to get few rating points, but also you should get higher than only the points that they give you. Okay, now I think about 92. My concern is knight to e4. But okay, I'll play that anyway. Okay, knight g3 not so great. Bishop can take. Oh wow, that's pretty nice. That's a nice rating. But from there, you just need to become a master, you know? There's not much else to aim for at that point. That bishop there is really strong. And I don't really know what to do about that. I know that in these structures you can play c4 and that's aggressive, but I honestly quite enjoy just playing c3 and keeping the d4 solid. The knight e4. e4 is a square that I basically gave up a bit. I'll try to get the queen on this diagonal now. Let's see what comes out of that. Really, full time. And how do you actually do it? Just from prize money? Probably not just that, you know? Like, queen b1, do I want to play it? It feels that way. Typical Scandinavian. You know, I got that opening, but suddenly black is dominating. Yeah, it would be nice. It was a nice plan. There's this possibility of bishop takes, which might not be that bad for me, because the bishop is strong there, so I was considering it. But yeah, I would get those pawns, and I'm not sure. Maybe the way to go, though. Yeah, that knight g3. Okay, so we get the queen trade. Yeah, hanging pawns, actually, yeah. Yeah. I know him. I actually watched one of his videos recently because I wanted to learn how to checkmate with the queen against the rook only, like that endgame. Because it is quite a difficult checkmate. And I was already saying it, if you're playing it against a human, you have quite some chances even if you don't know the checkmate properly. But if you play against an engine, it's a completely different level. Bishop f4. And I can capture. The knight will come to d5, and we have quite an interesting pawn structure here. Okay, bishop draws back with the idea of knight d5 for sure. They wanna attack the rook. Probably, because I wanted to move the bishop back. Anyway, not sure if all the way to h2, but why not? Okay, knight b6 instead, going for c4 as well. But I'll get my knight to e5 now, right? And knight jump to c4, not really possible. Yeah, I was watching that event actually, and it was quite epic that he managed to draw that. But yeah, with the perfect defense, it is really hard to break through. And I was learning it and trying it, and it is pretty hard. I actually can do it from the further position pretty easily, if you know what that is. But to get there, really hard. Rook a7. Okay, I wanted to get the knight to f4. Not sure if that's the right idea. Maybe I can just bring this rook up. Knight goes back. Then when I trade, probably not. Probably not. I want to remaneuver this knight as well. To d3, it would be pretty nice to get the knight to d3. But not so easy. Knight comes there. Okay, let's actually do that. Let's actually get the knight to c1. Case of a trade, and knight c4, I have rook e2 if I'm not mistaken. I can grab that with the bishop as well. That might be interesting. If I grab there, I have the d file at the moment, but I'll log the bishop, which I don't like. Not sure about the decision, but let's see. Yeah, knight comes there, so I'll defend this way, as I planned to. So now we can transpose into an endgame, a bishop against knight with the rooks on the board, if my opponent wants to. The next move, I'll move this rook back, probably to d1. I was thinking of rook lifts, but they don't seem too great. So maybe just rook d1, and I want to get the knight to d3. That would be pretty strong. Knight c5 would be great as well, but there's the bishop. Yeah, rook comes there. So Yeah, c5 might become a thing. So maybe I will go for that rook g3 indeed. f6 is impossible now. Moving the bishop is not so great. But c5 still possible. c5 still possible because I cannot take it because of the back rank and the knight would be loose. But still, if I just leave it there, on days d4 is pretty okay. I would just recapture with bishop and have a fine position. But yeah, that knight... Oh, wow. Okay. Okay, so that's another exchange down. That was a thing I missed. If I take with the pawn, I will lose the knight because of the exact same tactic. And if I take with the rook, well, then bishop will come to d6. So I have to try that. Now, I'm not really sure with which rook should I go back. Probably this one. Yeah, these sneaky tactics are there. I'll definitely try to defend, like, still. You wanna keep the rocks on the board, I would say. And the defense task. And if I put the knight on d3, it would control the breakthroughs. I have chances of defending with 2 minutes though, you know, always. Always a thing. Okay, c5 comes immediately. But I gotta take, now the d file opens up and suddenly, yeah, if I would have the knight on d3, a move I go would be better. I'll go there afterwards. Attack the rook, rook comes back. Maybe not just an immediate recapture even, just rook d7 could be reasonable, and if rook d2 lands, going after b2, that would be unpleasant. Okay, I mean, I didn't want to follow the knights yesterday, even though I actually didn't gain any rating points, but it felt like nice games, so I actually counted that as quite a nice game, nice day. I wanted to follow it up in a better style. I won the first game, you know, that was a nice follow-up, but then it seems like to be 3 losses. So again, dropping back there. But as I was saying, I'm looking forward to that tournament and afterwards, after that tournament, because I think I will improve. Yeah, rook will get back to d2 and that's not so great. Yeah, rook d5. Okay. Rook e2. Rook d7. Rook e5. Okay, let's go to f3. But I have to trade rooks at some point and then try to hold that endgame. Probably impossible, you know. It should be impossible to hold with perfect play. I'll do my best, still some tricks, you know. For example, that I just highlighted that almost at random and it ended up in nice fork. That's all you've got. Yes, Europe. It is in Europe and it is in my country, just Czech Republic. Rook f5, okay, I gotta speed up as well. King e3. This doesn't feel like a progress actually. Okay, it steps out of attacks, but g4 might come though. Okay, and as I was saying, yeah, I gotta do that. Gotta take it. And then develop the knight. And let's hope that I can hold this, basically. Rook will come back to d5. But I'll sit there, you know, I'll just sit there with the knight. Pawn to f4. Okay, pawn goes there. That makes sense. But I can actually attack the rook anyway, right? But okay, let's jump to e5 first. h4 though. h4 is coming. So I should have gone for g4 instead. This is not even an attack, you know, the rook defense, even though it is passive. But f6 will be played after h4. Knight can drop to f3 to attack. King actually control. Oh, okay, so we transpose into this king and pawn endgame. I gotta try to go after this, but king d5, yeah. There it is. There's the passed pawn, but I have to go for b3, but king c4. I wanted to say the most professional way to do it. Even though it is winning no matter what. About the username, I mean, I probably won't change it. I already made a lot of videos where I made that intro. Maybe, and yeah, maybe it is a thing that with a different username, even such a thing could help, but I don't know. I'll already stick with it, and there is a little bit of story behind that, not that interesting and not that long, and actually it is not even that big of a thing, but yeah, there is slight reason why I choose this username, actually. Okay, here I'm just playing for not to resign the game too early. That's how I would call it, maybe. Okay, I'm not going to prolong that anymore. So that means another loss. And tomorrow I'll play to survive in the 2200 club again. I don't like that. I already went below that yesterday, but was able to bounce back. But yeah, still I'm looking forward to the end of March, where I believe that I'll go up. But yeah, I mean, I like the games, just sometimes they are too crazy, so tell me the story. Well, I might save that one for later. I mean, it's not like a big of a thing, you know. It is basically, I would say, just the reason why I choose that somehow, but yeah, I'll save that one for later, I think. Not sure, but I'll tell it at some point. But yeah, for now, I'll save it. So yeah, thank you for being here. And even though I lost most of the game again, I'll try to grind back and see you tomorrow.